Hi everybody, and happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to Mealtime Magic with me, Dawn, the Kitchen Witch from Cucina Aurora Kitchen Witchery. So every year we do Thanksgiving dinner and my mother or my mother-in-law will ask me to bring a dish. A few years back, I showed up at Thanksgiving dinner with a caramelized Brussels sprout dish and everybody went crazy for it. So now that's what I have to bring every time there's a holiday. Very, very, very simple. I'm going to show you how to do it today. It requires 4 ingredients and about 15 minutes. Your guests will love it. For this recipe, you will need 1 pound fresh Brussels sprouts cut in half, 2 large shallots sliced, 3 slices of bacon, preferably organic and nitrate free, 3 cloves garlic minced, and 3 tablespoons of Cucina Aurora roasted garlic infused olive oil. So let's head over to the stove and make some Thanksgiving mealtime magic. So again, we're gonna start with our nice skillet. Turn it on high heat without, of course, blowing yourself up. And of course, we're gonna start with our trusty garlic infused olive oil. And again, our favorite part. It never gets old. It really doesn't. You can just like shake it up. Shake it up, baby. No, don't do that. That's terrible. Don't do that. Everyone in your family will make fun of you if they see you doing that at the stove. But who cares, right? It's your stove, you're cooking. So we're gonna start with about 2 tablespoons. Now I know I said you need 3 tablespoons for this recipe. However, we wanna start with 2 because we're gonna have to add more later, okay? First things first, what's better than bacon? Bacon fried in garlic oil. So we're gonna add our bacon and we're gonna just let that begin to sizzle. As soon as you start to hear that nice sizzle, you're going to add your shallot. And if you don't know what shallots are, they're really tiny purple onions and they're very, very sweet and they're delicious. They play off really well with the saltiness of the bacon here. And then we're just gonna put in our garlic. The key to this recipe is to keeping your skillet very, very hot, okay? So yes, we have our shallots and our garlic in there, and just as they begin to soften, we are gonna start to put some of our Brussels sprouts in. Key to this, to the caramelizing of the Brussels sprouts, is to make sure that you don't layer your sprouts, okay? You wanna make sure that there's only 1 layer of sprouts touching the bottom of the pan as you go, and then when those are browned, then you can add more in, okay? So I'm just gonna take a handful. Now in this particular case, I have very few sprouts and a very large pan, so it works out real good. You may have more, you may have less. I'm able to fit all of my sprouts in my large pan because the pan is so large. But you'll see, it's just 1 layer. And all of them are touching the pan. Again, very high heat, just a little olive oil. You might notice that they start to kind of bubble and sizzle a little bit. If you see that, you want to just bring your heat down just a scotch and keep them moving. Brussels sprouts are actually a member of the cabbage family. Because they're a cabbage, they are considered, energetically speaking, a leafy green. And leafy greens are always about money. They symbolize money and wealth. We're mixing it here with bacon, and bacon is obviously from a pig, and that any pork products, anything that comes from a pig, is also associated with prosperity, specifically monetary, financial, maybe your job, investment, something like that. So this is a really great dish to have right now at the holidays because we're trying to manifest things that we want to come in the year ahead, right? So you can serve this at your Thanksgiving dinner. You can serve this at your winter holiday celebrations like Yule or Hanukkah or Christmas. But if you're like me and you kind of have an addiction to Brussels sprouts, you may find yourself making it on a regular basis because it is so simple. So what you might find is that your sprouts might not be cooking fast enough for you, or they might not be browning if you're constantly stirring them and you're not letting them sit. So let them sit a minute, maybe 2 minutes, just until they start to brown. You don't want to burn them. There's a real difference between caramelized and burned. So make sure that you're not burning, you're caramelizing. So you're gonna find now that some of this stuff might be really sticking to the bottom, and this may be where you need to add a little bit of extra olive oil to your pan just to keep things from getting a little too sticky in there. And that's why we reserved that extra tablespoon of olive oil. And that garlic oil just is so perfect for this recipe. And we'll get in there and coat that with a lot of really wonderful garlic flavor. Now as it's getting hotter, you're noticing that we're doing a little bit of scraping on the pan. That's wonderful. Keep that going, don't burn. All right, our sprouts are just about done. Took us about 15 minutes. Little stirring, a little extra olive oil, and you can see in the pan now there's a beautiful golden color. And we're gonna wanna take this off of the heat within the next couple of seconds, because if we don't, we might get some burn in the pan. I'm shutting the heat off, and I'm gonna serve it in a minute, so I'm going to put a little bit extra salt and a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper. Toss to coat that. I'll be putting this in a beautiful serving dish and bringing it right to the table. So there we have it, caramelized Brussels sprouts with bacon, shallots, and garlic. Perfect for your holiday table, perfect for your everyday table. Thank you so much for joining me, Dawn the Kitchen Witch from Cucina Aurora Kitchen Witchery. Thanks for making some Thanksgiving mealtime magic, and have a wonderful holiday.